Hello everyone, apologies for the delays, but we are going here. We have 17 drivers here racing in Imola, sprint weekend. Hopefully we have a great race ahead. So we are going to spectate whoever is first, and on a lap it is the Haas of Nix who's the first one to start. His flying lap we will ride on board with him. So down this very long straight, as I think that's Griffin who gets out of the way there, into turn one. Ooh, just a bit onto the grass, but very smooth. Down to fourth, kind of cruise it through the first few corners as he heads down to the second chicane, down to around sixth, and then drop it down to fourth again. It's very clean there, as someone doesn't really get out of his way there, but he still managed to do well. There's a lot of people on track as he goes through the hairpin. Next, I think he drops it down to third for this one, fifth actually, through Aqua Minerali now, one of the trickiest corners on the whole track. He's gone wide and he's invalidated, so that is unlucky for him. Next there's Griffin, he's on an out lap. So Psych, he's on a lap at the moment. He comes up to the chicane, as I just need to get the track map. Very unorganised start here today, but hopefully a very organised race. Everything seems to be clean so far. Psych has not invalidated, but there's two people in his way, and I don't think there's anything they could do. Someone may get a penalty. I'm going to have to investigate that. No one got out of his way, and is really going to affect his lap there, as almost everyone is out on track at the moment. Psych 120.6. Obviously that wasn't going to be good. Tyro also got held up, or had an issue, as I think that's LOI Glenmac starting his lap. Coming around the final corner, SJR was on a flying lap. He's invalidated. Behind him is Rayan. Rayan reserving tonight, goes provisional pole with a 116 flat. Behind him is Lucas Paul, his first time on the game. He's invalidated his lap. After that is Jinx. Jinx to the line. DRS on. That's P2 for Jinx. Just a bit off the pace. Next across the line, I think, is Pa Kenny. Pa Kenny, what's he going to set? 117.2, that's not bad at all. Next is an Aston Martin to cross the line. I think it's FaZe McBot. FaZe 117.8. He must have had issues himself. As I'm going to get the track up now. Okay. So, next across the line, Psych to start his second lap. Behind him is SJR. SJR hasn't validated again, he's into the pits. Behind him is a Ferrari of Turkey Boy. That's his lap. I think that's Nick's about to cross the line there again. Nick's just about to start his next lap. Lucas Paul's into the pits. Jackie Gabbana, only 1/10 down. I think he's going to continue on. No, he's into the pits as well. Behind him, I think was Jinx coming in. FaZe McBot on an invalidated lap. Someone's gone off. That was two Magnus. May want to get out of the way there. I think that's Pa Kenny. I think there's not many people on a lap at the moment. Let's see. Turkey Boy, he's on a lap. Psych is invalidated. FaZe is starting another lap. Pa Kenny, no. Griffin's on a lap. What can Griffin say here? Ian, no, he's not on a lap. Never mind. Okay. Don't know who's on a lap or not. Tyro maybe? No. Jeez, it's very confusing to see who's on a lap or not. Psych is into the pits. Turkey Boy. Well, watch the end, because he is on a lap. This is an official lap here for Turkey Boy. And what time can he set to get to the line? Turkey Boy 05 opens DRS. So 117.8 puts him P7, his first time in a full-time seat, as Nix goes P9. Two Magnus on a lap. Tier 2 driver. Didn't set a bad lap yesterday. Just quite off the pace the whole race, which was unfortunate for him. Hopefully he can make some redemption today if he headed through Acqua Minerali and heads down to Variante Alta chicane. A very, very tricky corner, but he's done it very well, and just a snap of oversteer he couldn't correct, and he has got... You want to be careful here he doesn't get disqualified for going backwards. Hasn't. Faze McBox just spun again, he's not on a lap. So it's unlucky for Magnus. No one else on lap. Rayan is the fastest, but only by a bit. Tyro close behind. Still Randro and Lucas Paul to set a lap. He's out on a lap at the moment. Magnus is going to come to the line. Despite his spin, he will just at least set a lap, which is not a bad thing in case people retire. S Junior on his out lap. Now on his flying lap, he's going to start another lap again. I'm just going to check to make sure that we are streaming here. We are all good. Obviously, I'm pretty sure I am streaming. Just want to make sure that the Discord's alright. Magnus has retired just out of the Tamburello and has completely lost the car. He's going to have to be careful if he does that through the race. We're right on board with SJR, as he is the man to watch at the moment. Set a beautiful lap. Unavailable in Hungary, but is available today. A smooth lap so far from SJR. Not much really is going wrong here for the Irishman. Still yet to win a race, but really is due a race win, as he's going to head to the line here through Rivatsa 2. SJR to the line, goes fastest by only a few tenths as well. What a lap that is from SJR. Very close to the 115s. As we now gonna ride on board with Lucas Paul, 73. First time ever he is not in a Ferrari in this league, and I think he is gonna be on a flying lap. We hope someone does get out of his way here. The Alpine, obviously it's a very narrow track, so at times it is hard to get out of the way for another driver without going off track. Lucas Paul to the line anyway. This isn't going to be a bad lap. It's going to go P5 for the Red Bull driver. Behind him is Turkey Boy, setting another lap, 6 tenths up, P6 ahead of Griffin. After that, it's Glenn Mack. He's going to start his lap, and behind him, Jackie Gabbana. In the Red Bull yesterday, I think finished in P5 or P6. He is starting also again today, reserving for his teammate LOI Ryan Curran. He's starting his next lap. Johannes, as we got his name wrong multiple times, sets a quicker lap than he did the first time and goes P10. To the line now, Syke. He is 3 tenths up in his time, which isn't great at all. He's quite struggling around here, but obviously gained a lot of time in the final sector as Tyro goes quickest of all with an amazing 1:15.3. Wow, 7 tenths quicker than the man in P2, and that is going to be a real issue for someone to beat. Who can beat it is the real question, as Randro comes to the line himself with a 1:15.9. P2, this is an amazing qualifying so far. Next across the line will be Lucas Paul again, who I think is just coming into the pit lane. Yes, he is. Jinx is on a lap at the moment. No, he's not. I think that's... No, Pigster is invalidated. A lot of people are struggling with the track limits at the moment. LOI Glenn Mack. He's on a lap. No, he's not. He's into the pit lane. Don't think he was going to improve. FaZe McBot hasn't invalidated this time, and it's 2 tenths up in his time, but obviously made a mistake in the final sector, so he's obviously going to be gaining a lot more time this time. FaZe McBot goes P5, splits Syke and Ryan. So Syke not on a lap. Will he get out of the way for the Williams? Don't think the Williams on a lap either. In Tyro, both of them into the pit lane. Pigster to cross the line. No, he's into the pit lane as well. Randro on a lap. Nope. So Nix is on an out lap at the moment. So he comes around Rivazza 2 and is going to start his flying lap. He really wants to improve on that time. He knows he has the pace to do so. And to Magnus could be in a decent position at the moment if Pigster is unable to set a lap. But Nix is the only man I think out on track on a fast lap. Johannes is on the way in. Jinx, he is not on the lap. He comes into the pit lane. Ooh, goes very fast. Just about slows down in time. Jackie Gabbana is on a lap. He runs wide. He manages to keep it in track limits. He's not going to improve, so I think he's going straight again for another lap, despite having little to no ERS. FaZe McBot, he's 8 seconds down, so he's not going to improve. I don't know who that was who was improving there at the moment. We're right back on board with Nix, although he hasn't validated. Everyone is starting to come out of the pits. I think this is probably going to be for their final flying lap. So no one's on a lap, so we're right on board with SJR on his out lap, coming around Rivazza 2 onto the long main straight around to Dasa, and he has going a big chunk to improve on now, and we hope the track conditions have gotten better, so he will improve. We'll see as he comes through Tamburello. It's fairly clean enough there as he rides over the curbs as aggressively as possible. There's a tyre on the track still from Magnus's retirement. Luckily, off the racing line won't put much people off. S Junior is just a bit down on his time, which is unfortunate, but hopefully he can make up a lot of time as he goes through Sector 2. I don't think anyone is on a lap at the moment other than SJR is the fastest as he's coming up to Tyro next, who should get out of the way for him. 17 people tonight, which is a record for CTCR, and we're hoping this is a good race, as some people are slow. Down, going into Variante Villeneuve as SJR headed through Variante Alta, down to the last two Rivazzas. I forgot to check how much he's up in his time. He seems to have backed out of his lap, and is he gonna charge into the pits and come back out? No, he's gonna use this lap as a recharge lap, and he's gonna go again. Behind him, Rando starting a lap. Then it is Pa Kenny, who was on a lap but hasn't validated. Turkey Boy also about to start a lap. I think that's Jinx then, who's also on an out lap behind. I think that's his teammate Randro he's behind. No, it's an Alpine of Griffin. Griffin's not on a lap either, but he's about to start one because he still has 100% ERS. Still isn't using it though. Now he's burning it. It's unusual he didn't deploy that just before Rivazza, but we will see. We're right on board with Griffin. He's about to start a lap. Oh, we'll go switch back to Psych. I think he's finishing a lap. No, he's just about to start one. Pigster. He was on a lap. He goes P9. Finally, he sets a time. LOI Glenn Mack is into the pit lane as I think that's rain. Is that rain falling? I think that's rain. So maybe that could be the end of qualifying if people don't set a lap quick. I think Tyro could be on pole for the sprint. SJR is on a lap. That lap isn't quick. He's going to have to go quick because I think there is rain. If I ride on board, I can see speckles of rain falling. SJR is going to start his final flying lap. Nix is on an out lap now to improve, as I definitely can't see rain falling, which definitely isn't a good sight for the drivers because they won't be able to improve. As I think that's Griffin coming to the final few corners now. It's been a fairly smooth lap from Griffin as it looks. Those final few corners were good. Griffin to the line he goes. Can't improve. Behind him is Jinx. He's invalidated. Behind him is Syke, also invalidated, and behind him is Lucas Pod, who's also invalidated. I think this is the end of qualifying, guys. Pigster, he's into the pit lane, and behind him, Jackie Gabbana, starting his final flying lap. There's a Williams, who's still on a lap. Tyro, he's invalidated, and behind him is Randro, who hasn't invalidated, but definitely isn't going quick. I think this is going to be the end of qualifying. Which could say is quite unfortunate. We don't get a dramatic end to qualifying that we'd like, but it is a very, very interesting grid for tomorrow. The rain is falling too heavy, and that will be it. Switch to Turkey Boy. He's not. Griffin invalidated. Jinx is off. Jackie Gabbana, he is on a lap, but he's just invalidated right there. Comes up very close to Jinx, who doesn't have a front wing, but there's no problem. Nix is the only man on a lap who could be on a lap, and he's not. So that's the end to qualifying. 17 drivers started, 16 finished, and I think everyone within just 2 seconds of each other. I think Nix is going to try his best to go for another lap, although the rain is falling a little bit heavier now. I go for a gap to the leader. Everybody within 3.1 seconds of each other. Pretty much within 2.5 seconds of each other, because, well, Nix couldn't really get a proper lap together, and we'll ride on board with him now as he goes very wide into the gravel, almost hits the barriers. That will be the end qualifying. Jinx had retired there, and Nix is going to just retire on track. He's the last man, so there's no need to get angry over that as we wait for the Red Bull mechanics to put Jackie Gabbana into the pit lane as we end qualifying. I think we just need to actually wait for next. There we go. So that's the end of qualifying. So, on pole, the Dutchman of Tyro 010, a great lap from him. Randro, in the Uruguayan Season 2 winner. SJR in P3 with Ryan reserving in P4. McBot in P5 with Syke in P6. Lucas Paul in P7. Glenn Mac 8. Pigster 9th. 10th Turkey Boy. Griffin in 11th. Jinx, Pat Kenny, Jackie Gabbana go from 12, 13, 14. Johannes in 15. Nix in 16. 17th is 2 Magnus. We have a great variety of nationalities in our league, which is great to see as we head to the sprint next. It's a beautiful day here in Imola. The sun is shining, just not like qualifying. It should be a good sprint. If anyone is racing and is quickly on the stream, just tell me if there's going to be any rain for right now or the race tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is in, I say, about 10 minutes time as we start the formation lap, which hopefully, like last week, is going to actually work this time and we can have people get themselves ready. So Tyro will lead us underway for the formation lap as we get all the drivers hopefully to warm up their tyres. We've 17 drivers, so we hope that there's not much non-plays has joined, and I think he can join for the race. I think he can join us for the race. He wasn't able to get in for qualifying. I hope he can. He will be starting 18th though, so I'll ask him if he can. So non-players, just stay here for now. They should give you the Aston Martin seat. If not, you'll be known as an Aston Martin driver anyway. just possibly racing for another team, if that is the case. Stay in the lobby. They may give you a seat for the race. As Tyro heads down the hill towards Aqua Minerali. Everyone is fairly close together. No issues on formation lap, unlike yesterday. As we're hoping for a good and entertaining sprint for the first time ever in corner to corner racing. Non-players has left the session. I'm going to just ask him to rejoin and stay, and they might give him a place in the race. So, as Tyro goes to his grid box to line up the car, we'll see how many of them will line it up properly. We'll go get everything enabled, as he has definitely tilted his car in a different position. McBot was unable to park properly. Griffin the same. It is a tricky place to park your car. Pat Kenny couldn't do it either. Only 3 so far, as we wait for 2 Magnus to park his car. And we go. Here we go to 5 red lights for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. Hopefully we get to a better camera angle soon as we head down to turn 1. Tyro alongside, but Randro is into the lead. Randro's into the lead of the race. Jinx is off into the grass. Randro in the lead. Tyro in second. I think that's who's that. Is that Ryan up into P3? And S Junior in P4, but S Junior right on the back of Ryan is going to go for a move here into the second chicane. He just ducks out as someone has fallen off. It's Lucas Paul, 73. He's spun out into the first corner along with Pat Kenny as FaZe McBot goes down the inside of S Junior into the hairpin. A very, very clean getaway so far, as FaZe McBot then right in the back of Ryan. Is FaZe McBot going to get by there? Side by side, McBot is off, McBot is out. McBot will start the race from P17 and the safety car is out. So, an early safety car in the sprint. Very interesting. A chance for Lucas Paul to get back into it, as FaZe McBot maybe just testing his chances a bit too much there on lap 1, going for the move on Rayan. He's clipped him and he's gone out. No, it must have been a VSC. Okay, so we get racing again then. Rando's still in the lead, and Tyro has gained just a good bit of a gap here to Rayan. Maybe Rayan got a bit of damage fighting McBot. S Junior right on the back of him. Shouldn't really test his luck going for a move here. The only real place to overtake is really that straight if you are a safe driver, but everything at the moment is very smooth. Pigsters gain places, Turkey Boy the same. Everyone has gained places apart from Lucas Paul, Pat Kenny, and obviously FaZe McBot, Tyro, S Junior. But Randro and Tyro are the ones battling in the front, and Rayan quite struggling to pick up the pace at the moment. So everything seems very clean at the moment. Not much seeming to happen, but this is where it can happen, because Tyro can get right on the back of Randro. He just can't. Randro sets the fastest lap. Now Rayan could definitely be in trouble, because S Junior is flying it at the moment. He must have a much better straight line speed setup. S Junior into turn 1. Ooh, Rayan defends well. S Junior going to try to switch back. This would be a lovely move if it pays off. Round the outside, he's spun, he's touched, he's out, and so is Rayan. Wow, that was a big collision there, and that has to be a safety car. It is. Wow, he chanced his luck and he went onto the grass Almost like George Russell and Valtteri Bottas, and both of them are in the wall. Wow. This has been an amazing sprint as people are really risking it in going for their positions, which means FaZe McBot, Rayan and S Junior will all start from the back of the grid. Randro in P1 with Tyro in P2. Psych has got up into the podium with Pigster now right behind. As everyone will seem to catch up now, a VSC and a safety car, and to be fair, it hasn't actually been from people. Yeah, George and Bottas, as me and God has said there in the all drivers. For the 5 people that are watching this, this is incredible at the moment to watch. So, people who are picking up points in the sprint at the moment. Randro is going to pick up all 8 at the moment, with Tyro 7, Syke 6, Pigster 5, Turkey Boy 4, LOI Glenn Mac 3, Griffin 2, and Jinx will pick up 1 point. There's no point for fastest lap in the sprint. Unlucky FaZe. Luckily that's your quali ban served anyway, because you'll be starting from the back anyway. To be honest, I actually was going to appeal that quali ban because I don't think it was right to give in the first place, but you pretty much served it there. Randro in, I forgot lad again, yeah, and obviously I forgot because I forgot to tell you. It shouldn't really matter anyway. You're starting last. I'm sure no one will care, as long as you didn't cause any incidents in quali. It won't be a big issue. So what a start it has been. It's not bad to have 1 safety car, and I think people were just really testing their luck. They want to get that higher grid position, the more points in the sprint. And now FaZe, S Junior and Rayan will get no points at all. So Randro obviously in the lead at the moment with Tyro in P2, Syke, Pigster, Turkey Boy and Glenn Mac great for Ferrari at the moment since they haven't scored a point yet. Griffin 7th, Jinx 8th, Jackie 9, Magnus, Lucas Paul 10-11, Nix and Johannes 12-13, and Pat Kenny in 14th. Not great for AlphaTauri so far. So I will be away for this next lap, hopefully back in 1 minute for the safety car restart. here we go, back in time. As we go again, Randro leads us underway as Turkey Boy picked up a 5-second penalty, obviously for collision with another driver. Tyro trying to heat up those tyres. As we'll switch now to what tyres people are wearing. Nix and Johannes are both on the softs. Everything very clean into turn 1. No one is going for a side-by-side move. Randro has gained just a good bit of a gap here to Tyro. Just enough. As Glenn Mack, I think, has gone off to the grass, but nothing too much for him to worry about. He's straight back on clean iron, which puts Jackie Gabbana into the points. And at the moment, everything is clean. Magnus gets by Glenn Mack. Maybe Glenn Mack may have a bit of damage here. Oh, as Magnus must have spun out, just like maybe where FaZe McBot did. No damage. It's Lucas Paul. He is struggling at the moment. Obviously, it's his first race in the new game. We don't expect much. Glenn Mack is struggling as Jackie Gabbana picks up his first 3-second time penalty. That's not a good sign for the race to come. Randro, Tyro, Syke. Everyone is within a second except Griffin, who's just a bit further back. Yeah, Lucas Paul obviously has spun out. 3 crucial DNFs so far, but generally been a very smooth race so far. It's Pigster, who must have had the best Sector 1 there, gained a bit of a gap there, closer to Syke. As there's a yellow flag into Sector 2, and 2 Magnus has lost the car. Which means Lucas Paul will be right on the back of him. There could be a bit of an incident here because they're both very quick. Magnus' tyres are just a bit too hot, he's going to let him through. We hope Magnus can just keep his tyres where he is. So we'll switch back to the leaders. As Glenn Mack and Pa Kenny are going for a right battle here. Pa Kenny has to resort to going off the track as Nix picks up a penalty. He must have had to cut the chicane. That could be removed later on into the race. If for tomorrow. DRS is enabled. Tyro just a little bit closer to Randro, maybe, hopefully, to get the move done on lap 9. As he's built a bit of a gap to himself and Syke. Nix has retired in the pit lane. Tyro really right on the back here, as I think that's Jackie Gabbana that's gone off there out of Tamburello. As now Lucas Paul will be getting close to him. Ooh, these will be very close to each other. 2 Red Bull drivers. I think Jackie Gabbana is the reserve. He better just keep out of the way. He has. Now will he keep out of the way for Magnus as he goes wide there? Switchback is nothing is much happening at the front. It's been a very clean race at the moment though. As I keep on saying, Tyro right on the back of Randro. As his yellow flags into Sector 1, obviously Nix's car must have had the retirement in the pit lane glitch and he's came out, but it's grand, green flags, his car is away. Randro, Tyro and Syke all right beside each other, and Pigster staying just a little bit closer behind with Turkey Boy and P5. Tyro has DRS and is a little bit closer to Randro this time and is gaining. Both have very much a lot of DRS, but kind of a bit of a train at the moment because Randro is managing himself well. Tyro, Randro, everyone on right in the back of them as Turkey Boy has gone off. He's lost his front wing. and he will drop out of the points. Johannes in the reserve is doing very well. Glenn Mack has got himself back into the points. Johannes, obviously the only runner on softs at the moment. He could really get right on the back of Jinx next, who obviously has that, I think, a 5-second penalty. We watch as Tyro, Psych and Randro all go through Ravatsa, as Tyro is a lot closer to Randro this time. Will he get the move done this time? Tyro missed the first race, didn't miss the second. Will he show us it now? Here we go. They go side by side, very close with each other. Tyro's into the lead of the race. Excellent overtake, as Psych must have made a mistake through the final corner, as he's dropped back out of DRS. But Randro had to concede the position to Tyro there, and Tyro retakes the lead of the race like he had from pole position. Fortunately, Johannes has picked up a time penalty. It's Turkey Boy. Or is that... Oh, it's Glenn Mack! Glenn Mack has spun again, which puts Pat Kenny into the points. Tyro and Randro's just staying a bit closer to him again. Ferraris were doing so well in the sprint. They aren't anymore. It's going to be a very chaotic start, considering FaZe, Rayan and SJR are all at the back. For them who are probably watching the stream at the moment, please take it easy. It's a 32 lap race. You just don't have to overtake everyone now, okay? Because I do not want another incident like it was in the sprint there. But on the final lap of this race, both Tyro and Randro all derating, so they're unable to make an overtake, and I don't think anyone will make an overtake anymore in this race. One safety car and one VSC. So, as Pigster picks up a penalty, so he's going to have to build a bit of a gap to Griffin in order to keep that P4 and keep those 5 points. But so far, the man of the moment in the sprint has been Tyro 0-0. He was overtaken at the start as Glenn Mack retires in the pit lane. He doesn't want to do the final lap. Turkey Boy is almost about to be lapped, but Tyro has done everything right. He has maybe got a bit of a poor start, which Randro managed to overtake him, but he's waited patiently, and through a VSC and a safety car, he has done everything he's needed to get himself back into the lead on the start of lap 9. Tyro 0-0 crosses the line to win the Emilia Romagna sprint, with Randro in second and Psych in third. Griffin does get by Pigster, as he must have had a huge mistake and has conceded to Griffin and Jinx. Pigster's going to finish P6, Pat Kenny in P7, and that's going to be Johannes to wrap up the points, with Lucas Paul and Jackie Gabbana will start in what would be Q3 positions, with then 2 Magnus and Turkey Boy. We wait then to finish the race. So, the winner of the sprint and picks up 8 points for his championship, Tyro 0-0. Randro in P2 with 7 and Psych in P3 with 6. Griffin in P4 with 5. Jinx with 4 in 5th. Pigster in 6th with 3. Pat Kenny in 7th with 2. And Johannes with 1 in 8th. Lucas Paul in 9th. Jackie Gabbana in 10th. 2 Magnus, Turkey Boy at the last of the finishers. Glenn Mack and Nix will start 13th, 14th. S Junior 15th with Rayan 16th. FaZe McBot in 17th. And he'll be starting right from the back for tomorrow's race. All the points, most points are up for grabs tomorrow, but 8th today was taken by the Dutchman of Tyro. It's raining for the start of the Grand Prix, and we wonder if it's going to be raining right through the race. It doesn't seem to be going that heavy, so I'm guessing it'll be an intermediate start. Hopefully maybe an intermediate to sunny race, kind of like the Imola 2021 race. I think it's also the same in 2020. We'll have to wait and see as we wait for the drivers to take their position on the grid. So, as I get the spectator menu ready, please give me your predictions for the race. Everyone starting on intermediates. So, for the 11 people that are currently watching, what are your predictions for the podium now that most drivers are back? Non-plays, unfortunately, unable to race, and I think no fault of his own. He wasn't ready for quali, wasn't going to be ready for the race. So unfortunately for him, he's also going to get a warning for ticking the box and not showing up. And the same can be said for Techno Sizzle. We should have 19 today. We only have 17, which is still great numbers for Tier 1. A good sprint, hopefully a good race as well. We've 12 viewers watching now, and I'm going to just get ready with my track map. And remember, to everyone that is watching, and you might be a driver, that there's no pausing during the race unless for emergencies like toilet or a quick leave. I think 30 seconds is the max unless you have to go to the toilet. That is the max, but then again your toilet shouldn't take 5 minutes. As Tyro is going to line up on the grid, it's the first time we see a formation lap back in CTCR, and it's going to be Tyro to set it as we wait for FaZe McBot heating his intermediate tyres, as a few people haven't been able to park it correctly. That's okay, Glenn Mack being one of them, as we wait now for FaZe McBot to park his car. Here we go to 5 red lights for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. It's a poor start from Tyro again. A great start from Syke, who's going to maybe go right through the middle. He's already passed Randro. Can he get Tyro as well? We head down into the first corner. Syke is into the lead of the race. A great start from last race's race winner. He's up into the lead. Randro could do the exact same. He pulls alongside and just slots in behind. Everything so far is clean. Nobody has gone off. A great start from FaZe McBot, Lucas, Paul and Rayan, as Pigster's gone off. Pigster's gone off and he's collected many drivers with him. And there's debris everywhere, and I'm guessing a VSC or of some sort. Many drivers have collided. Lucas Paul has got the best of it. He's up in the P7. And I think if I look at all the drivers who may have lost their wing, S Junior sliding, it's definitely tricky conditions here, but I think it was Pigster that caused the whole incident, and there's going to be a lot of investigation there, as FaZe McBot, he's one that's definitely struggling, as tyres are very hard to heat up here in the rain. FaZe McBot is showing that there. Pigster may be going for a move into the first corner or the chicane, he can't quite. But we'll switch back to the leaders. Syke, what a start. He's into the lead. We'll switch to position change and who has gained the most. So obviously Lucas Paul I think has gained the most. Oh, he's gone up 2. Maybe, well, I don't know. Oh yeah, he started P9. So Pigster is in to the pit lane, I think. No, he's not. Turkey Boy and 2 Magnus are. So, who's gained the most? Nyx, Rayan, FaZe. FaZe gets by S Junior here into Tamburello. Good move here, but S Junior really struggling. He's been passed by Pigster. Can't get those tyres warmed up. Tyro, as Randro's kind of starting to fall back. Jinx has gone up 1 to P4. Pat Kenny, P5. Lucas Paul, P7. But he's really being attacked here by Glenn Mack. Glenn Mack, possibly a master in the rain. What can he do? Will he force it down the inside? He will. That's a good move from LOI Glenn Mack. As 2 Magnus is out of the pit lane. Very slowly. Possibly picks up a penalty. No. Maybe just a warning. Psych, what a start he's had. He's up into the lead of the race. There's a big gap here from LOI Glenn Mack to the rest of the field ahead. 5 seconds that gap is. I think the cars at the back are struggling for grip, as that's Johannes, who has lost it through Aqua Minerale. Obviously a very tricky corner in the wet. But at the moment, everything's going well. Pigster's lost out most with 7 positions along with Johannes. But as of now, everything is going well. No safety car, 3 laps in. I don't want to jinx it, but it's been a clean getaway. As Pat Kenny is going to go side by side with Jinx. And it's done very well. And here goes Griffin. Griffin round the outside of Jinx. That's a wonderful move from Griffin 067. He is doing excellent. He's won 2 races in tier 2. He's won a race in tier 2, finished on the podium, and he looks like he's on a charge to win a race here as well. We know how quick he is in the rain. Hopefully he can prove that today. But as of now, the people who are losing out mostly at the moment, 2 Magnus, Johannes and Turkey Boy. Okay. Otherwise, the field is fairly close together. Conditions look to be starting to clearing because Psych is still setting purple sectors here, 3 laps into the race, which is only a good sign for some of the people that prefer the dry weather. FaZe McBot really finding it hard to heat up those tyres. He's in P11, stuck behind Rayan. And S Junior is the exact same as Psych, is setting fastest laps after fastest laps. We'll see if anyone can maybe even improve on that fastest lap. Lucas Paul has gone a lot quicker that lap. So has Rayan. FaZe. Jackie Cabana picked up a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He's straight in. And what is he onto? He's onto more intermediate tyres. He's into the pit lane very early, and I don't know why he is in. Doesn't seem like he has damage. We'll switch back to leaders. This is a yellow flag in Sector 1. It's Lucas Paul. As I think we also watched someone else who was spinning off. That was S Junior, who may have end plate damage. He does. That's wing damage for SJR. His race is not getting better and he's hoping for a safety car. Lucas Paul has no front wing at the moment, so he'll probably have to yield and make way for SJR to not cause an incident. He will indeed. Good decision making, as both of them will have to go into the pits because both of them do have damage. Glenn Mack picks up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. We are 4 races in, 4 laps in out of 32. And Psych got the good start. And he's on an excellent race at the moment. But Tyro is remaining behind in case he does just get that better exit out of Ravazza 2 and possibly has a go. DRS has been enabled, so we may be getting very close to slick tyres. It's whoever's going to make the gamble to go in for it is the interesting decision. Pigster picks up a penalty as the rain is clearing. You can still see it, but it's getting lighter and lighter as the minutes go on. Rayan is close to McBot, but McBot is still going to stay ahead. Yeah, the rain is definitely clearing. Lap times are getting quicker, and quicker. But now is when we're going to see, is Tyro going to be able to take the race lead? Because Randro is starting to drop back. He's going to need to make the call on when to come into the pit lane for slicks and maybe get a bit of an undercut. Jinx has picked up a penalty for track limits, as everyone is struggling with track limits today. Somehow I didn't. I only picked up one yesterday. As Tyro getting ever so closer to Psych. Again, too far back. These two are a very respected driver pairing and are doing very well at the moment as Magnus picks up a penalty. Field is very spread out and everything's gone cleanly at the moment. It's something that we just love to see at the moment. Randro P1, Jinx P2, and Psych in P3. Mercedes all the way. Fair enough, Mr. McCann. It's going to be an interesting one since Jinx has a penalty now. Randro obviously dropping a few seconds back, but it's definitely not impossible. And Psych in P3. Well, Psych is winning at the moment, so we'll see what happens to Tyro in your prediction. As everything is just starting to cool down a bit. Track is getting clearer and drier. And gaps are kind of getting wider here as Tyro isn't really getting as close to Psych as I would have thought he would. Someone who is close to someone is Magnus. I think he's just been overtaken by SJR, and soon enough I think Lucas Paul will be next to overtaken. It's his first time on the game. First league race on F1 22 for Lucas Paul. He's going to have a challenge in getting back into it. No DNFs so far, and no one's been lapped, but Psych is getting ever so closer to lapping Johannes, and possibly even Lucas Paul if things remain as it is. Lovely camera angles as we watch Tyro and Psych with each other. Rayan and McBot, they're both slowly gaining on LOI Glenmac, and we'll see when McBot will be far enough back to make the move, but as of now they should really just take their time. McBot is doing very well to cut his way through the field as he's within DRS range now of Glenmac. I don't see any rain falling at the moment, so maybe it is time as SJR picks up the fastest lap with a 1:23.4. It is getting very close now to the slick tyres. Just by looking at the track you can see it as McBot snap of oversteer, but manages actually to gain time on it. We'll switch back though to the leaders because they're just ever so slightly closer again, but I don't think close enough to make a move. Tyro and Psych are the two battling in front, the Dutch duo doing extremely well as Lucas Paul gets by two Magnus. Two Magnus is struggling here in the McLaren. Psych isn't. Psych could be into the championship lead if he wins today. Tyro getting close, but not close enough. We'll switch back now to see McBot and Glenmac. McBot getting very close to Glenmac now. Surely this is the move now. McBot switches to the outside. Glenmac breaks later. Takes it, but McBot possibly going to go for a little switch back here. Ooh, snap of oversteer. That may be open to Rayan to get on the back of him. No. McBot almost lost. He done very well to save it. He's kept himself in the race. This is the battle to watch at the moment because no one else is as close as these two. As they head through Piratella down towards Aqua Minerale, and hopefully we see something interesting as Tyro gets a very poor exit out of Variante Alta. Just cannot seem to get close enough to Psych in the most crucial part. McBot is almost up Glenmac's diffuser here. I think possibly we could see a double overtake because these three are battling it right at the moment. All three so close to each other. And surely now this is when FaZe will get by. Glenmac has saved a lot of ERS over the course of the lap, and FaZe has been burning it, but the extra help of DRS at the moment may suit FaZe a lot more. FaZe McBot will go down the inside And this time he is ahead before the braking zone, and now that FaZe ahead, he needs to get as far away as possible before Rayan overtakes. And Rayan is on the back. Glenn Mack possibly lining up a move on FaZe, just not. These three are the ones to battle at the moment, as we're going to watch FaZe now start to catch up on Randro's teammate Jinx. It would be an excellent race if McBot somehow puts this on the podium. Griffin is one that's gaining on Randro at the moment, so we'll also keep an eye on that as conditions start to clear. Tyro needs a good exit out of his chicane in order to get close to Psych. To be fair, that time it wasn't bad at all, but unfortunately he was a second back going into the chicane, so the time he has gained is still going to be not enough. These two just almost dragging each other along with the DRS and hoping for a Dutch 1-2 and maybe a 1-2-3 if Rayan can do something, as we'll switch back to that battle here as they head down into Ravazza. Rayan is right on the back of Glenn Mack. Both have fairly similar ERS usage, and Glenn Mack doesn't get the best, but he does have DRS on McBot. Now he's probably too far back to make a move, but he is far enough that he's able to drag away from Rayan. Jackie Gabbana picks up another 3-second penalty, as we'll switch to penalties now, and we'll see he has 8, Pixter has 3, LOI Glenn Mack also has 3, Jinx has 3, Lucas Paul has 3, and 2 Magnus has 6. So people that have made pit stops: Jackie Gabbana, Turkey Boy, SJR, Lucas Paul, Magnus and Johannes, as we reach lap 10 of this race. Tyro is closer this time going into the chicane, and again that was his usual poor exit. There's a yellow flag. That's Glenn Mack. That's Glenn Mack out. Glenn Mack is out, and that's brought out the safety car. Now how he has spun out we do not know. He was close to Rayan and he has DNF'd it just into the entrance of Aqua Minerali. Safety car is out now, so now is the time to gamble. Syke has passed the pit lane, so he is staying out. So is Tyro, so is Randro, Griffin, Pat Kenny. We thought about it, he didn't though. I don't think anyone's going to come in. No one's going to chance the Sauce McBot. Ooh, dummied it. He didn't do anything wrong. Pigster's in now. No, he's not. He's cut the track and he's gained a 3-second penalty. That will not be removed. Tried to dummy something. He had no one near him, so I don't know why he did. So that won't be removed. He crossed pit lane exit entry, so that is going to be a rightful 3 seconds. But Nix is going to come in. Now this will be interesting. What will Nix go on to? Will Nix go on to the slicks? Will he test it? Because he could make out big here. No, intermediates. Maybe it's intermediates the whole race. The track seems to be drying out on my perspective. Who's going to take that gamble as Jackie Gabbana serves his penalty? Someone could make a gamble here and it could be really well paid off. But I don't think anyone is. Johannes is into the pit lane again, so he shouldn't get lapped. He should be into the pit lane. It's a long pit lane, but he shouldn't be lapped. Now the question is, will he try put on the slick tyres? That's also a pair of green wooled intermediates. So no one is going to try the slick tyres. I don't know if it's even available. But as of now, we've gone 10 laps without a safety car, and we've got our first from a DNF from LOI Glenn Mack, which wasn't the worst thing in the world. And we'll see what happens now as Syke has the lead from Tyro, from Randro, Griffin, Pat Kenny, Jinx, McBot. Now going to get right on the back of Jinx. Pigster's into the pit lane, so he had a penalty. He's going into the pit lane now. And ooh. So Pigster has put on he has took a chance. He has listened to what I've been saying the last while now. Pigster He's onto the hards, and he's come out behind his teammates. Now, if the track dries up a lot during the safety car, and Pigster, oh, he's struggling though. I don't know if this plan will work. I thought it was a lot drier than it is, and maybe it isn't. But if this plan does work, Pigster could well and truly take the lead of the race. We'll soon find out if it is slicks or not. They're definitely on to mark every single lap to see whether it's slicks or not, because even if you come into the pit lane as the safety car comes in for slicks, you're still going to gain time on everyone else because everyone else is bunched up and are going to lose time themselves. So Pigster is either going to lose out big time or take the lead of the race. That's what's going to happen. We'll look at his pace on the broadcast. It doesn't look that bad at all from the Alfa Romeo. I'll have to wait and see. This could be a huge call and some massive points for Alfa Romeo, or it could be big points lost, although he's not in the points at the moment, so maybe it's a risk you can take. If I was, ooh, Psych almost loses it. If I was maybe Nix or Lucas Paul in this situation, possibly come in for slicks and just see if it works. Like, I suppose Lucas Paul may have something to lose because he could make overtakes. He has the pace to make overtakes anyway. As we wait for Johannes and Jackie Gabbana to catch up, 2 Magnus is into the pit lane. Is he going to put on some slick tyres? He is. He's putting on the softs. So this could be a smart decision as well, because the softs are obviously the grippiest of the tyres. Even in wet conditions, softs, in kind of mixed conditions, softs aren't actually that bad. So maybe he goes onto the softs for a while and then eventually comes into the pit lane. I think maybe around lap 20 for mediums at the end of the race. Be interesting too. Magnus will start from the back and crosses the white line from his snap of oversteer out of pits, and that's cost him a 5-second penalty. So that means he's up to 11. And other than that, not many penalties so far. So 2 people on the slick tyres. This is going to be an interesting end to the race. Safety cars in this lap. Oh, Magnus and Johannes are going to have to catch up quick. I think Johannes has just come over the hill of Aqua Minerale now, so he won't lose out much anyway. Magnus is going to have to catch up quick. He's going to have to push hard, and we'll see what are his tyres going to be like going through the chicane. We'll have to wait and see. So the man to take a look at is Pigster. What will he do from the back of the grid? Everyone is bunched up now. No one has been lapped as Psych gets going for the restart of this Grand Prix. It's a good getaway from Psych, and he's already almost within out of the second range from Tyro. Tyro also getting away as, who's that? SJR into the pit lane. So is Nix. And so is Johannes. Are they putting on the slick tyres to make possibly a big difference? Johannes is, Nix is, and so is SJR. So this could be huge. It looks very dry at the moment. Pigster is losing time though. Maybe that possibly is because SJR ahead of him pitted. But that is huge from SJR and Nix. We'll see if they can go the whole distance. Psych in P1, he hasn't decided to come in yet. So he could lose out big time here to someone possibly like Pigster. As the track is drying out, I don't see any rain at all falling as they head through Aqua Minerale. Actually, I see a few raindrops, but it still looks like a very, very dry track. Everyone is gaining so much time at the moment. Griffin up in the P4. We'll see which of the front runners are going to come in next. Surely they see that they're gaining so much time on the inters that they come in now for the slicks. We'll see. SJR is gaining time to 2 Magnus. 2 Magnus isn't gaining time at the moment though. Pigster's losing time. Psych stays in. Tyro, most people are staying in. No, Griffin is in. Pat Kenny is in. FaZe is in. Rayan. Almost everyone is in here. for the slick tyres. Will Syke and Tyro and Randro and Turkey Boy all lose time here? This is going to be very interesting. Lucas Paul's also stayed out. Pigster came onto the hard tyres as Johannes picks up a penalty for corner cutting. I think maybe SJR and Nix and all them, maybe they did come in a bit too early. They've lost time here and are going to come out behind Griffin, Rayan, Jinx, McBot and Pa Kenny. But he is a lot closer to them, at least this time. Syke must definitely come in now. I'm looking at this on his onboard. It is almost completely dry now. And I think the person who's going to gain most out of this is Griffin. We'll look at the gap to the leader. Will Griffin take the lead of the race? It's his first Tier 1 race. Will he take the lead of it? Another purple sector here. These three are in a league of their own. I think the person who'll lose out most here possibly is Jackie Cabana and Lucas Paul. May drop back. Either that or they'll gain the most. We'll see. Gap to the leader from Griffin is 32 seconds. Syke has to come into the pit lane now. Surely he does. Tyro is staying out. He is staying out as Randro comes in. Turkey Boy also comes in. And Pigster, as DRS now is completely enabled, Pigster is up in the P2 and essentially the lead of the race. Pigster will have a massive gap now. 2 Magnus is the exact same. 2 Magnus is up in the P4, a good few seconds ahead of Syke. This is going to be a massive job now for Syke, Randro and Tyro when he comes in to see where they'll come out. Has Lucas Paul got this perfectly on the time he has come out? He'll come out really close to Griffin. Griffin has overtaken Turkey Boy and Lucas Paul, but came in just a bit too early. Syke and Randro, I think, got this perfectly. The person who's got it mostly, as Lucas Paul went off. He's gone off, he's lost his front wing. He must have struggled coming out of pit lane. And now he's last. This has not been a good start for what was a potential championship contender. Tyro's still setting fastest sectors, but I don't think he's got this right at all. So Pigster will take the lead of the race and possibly win this race. Jackie Gabbana is going to have to come in too. This has been a mental race so far, and Glenn Mack, despite retiring, has maybe caused the biggest controversy of the season. Tyro's in, and Jackie Gabbana must join him. So because Tyro's in, Pigster 219 takes the lead of the race, and you wouldn't be saying that after earlier. He's also taken the fastest lap on the hard tyre. We'll see what his gap is now to Tyro, because I think he is gaining in 2 Magnus and his tyres are wearing. So the gap to Tyro, as Tyro's still coming down the pit lane. Has Tyro got this perfectly? Will he come out ahead of Syke? I think he has. Tyro has done an absolutely insane overcut there. Tyro is up in the P3, possibly P1, as there's yellow flags now. Jinx retires in the pit lane. Maybe he had trouble there. He's coming to the pit lane, he's ended his race. Lucas Paul, possibly the same. He still has no front wing. And if he does come in, I think he's going to be overtaken by Pigster. So it's not been a good race at all for Lucas Paul this weekend. He comes into the pits very slowly. May as well try challenge on. No, he's retired from the session. That's the end of his race. I think a bit of practice is needed for him going into Baku next weekend. But Pigster over Tyro. It's going to be interesting to see how this race will pan out. Pigster almost has a pit stop advantage of Tyro now, and his 200 IQ play has him the lead of the race as he sets another fastest lap, because his tyres are only getting warmer in this still pretty damp conditions. We'll set back to interval and onto the tyres. Magnus should be able to set the fastest lap, but he's struggling at the moment. Tyro is just out of the pit lane, and as Syke less than a second behind him. Pa Kenny and FaZe are almost stuck in a DRS train. FaZe is almost like Lewis Hamilton at the moment. He just can't quite get close enough to make a move. Same with Pa Kenny on Griffin, as SJR sets the fastest lap of the race and starts to chase after McBot. This has been a crazy race, and I expect more, as I think that's Griffin, or Pa Kenny going for a move on Griffin. He's got it done. FaZe also on the back, but Tyro is gaining massively on Pigster now. He has 14 laps to gain 12 seconds, and if there's no safety car, it's going to be a tough job, because not only does he have to gain a second a lap, but also has to... Not only does he have to gain a second a lap, but also has to end up winning, overtaking him, which some stages can be hard, as Pigster needs to save his ERS here. He has a 6-second lead. It doesn't need to be burning it so much, but Pigster seems to be struggling on those hards. The problem is, will Tyro go all these laps on medium tyres? 15 laps, I know I done it. It's going to be tricky here to do it for Tyro. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But FaZe gets closer to Griffin here. FaZe really is stuck behind here, and with S Junior on the back of him, he won't want that. Tyro sets the fastest lap. Oh, and Griffin's gone. That's Griffin. I think, has he hit the barriers? No, he hasn't. He stayed out of the barriers, luckily. But that's Griffin out of the points, and unfortunate for him, as Jackie Gabbana is going to get right up alongside and ahead into P11. So that means FaZe McBot. Randro is disconnected from the session. That's not good. I'm going to have to invite him back. Oh, it won't let me. I'm going to have to tell him to request to join. So, Randro has disconnected from, possibly will be attacked. There's 2 Magnus. He's losing time to Pigster, but Tyro is gaining a lot of time. Actually, what I'm thinking of, maybe Tyro just gaining time to... No, yeah, he still has 16 seconds, Tyro, to Pigster. And we'll see how much he's setting fastest lap after fastest lap, but I don't think it's going to be a second a lap. He needs to gain over 1 second. His game crashed, so hopefully Randro is able to request to join, get back in quickly, because FaZe McBot overtook Pat Kenny there and is gaining on Randro now. Jinx also leaves the session. I think someone else also may have... Oh well, Jinx was... F1 Marley's left the session yet. Both of those were just spectating. They already retired, and I think Lucas Paul is the other one. As Randro is in AI mode, I think McBot does know this. He will send one down the inside of Tosa and takes the lead. I think Pat Kenny is next on Randro. Obviously the AI is 55, so it might be a little bit more difficult than you think. I think the whole reason I have it on 55 is if someone does disconnect and tries to get back in, that their AI doesn't do too bad. Having it on 1 or having it on 40 really does affect them, but it should be enough for these drivers, especially the tier 1 lads. Oh! Yeah, went for the move. Ooh, he has to cut the corner. This is very close. Everyone right on the back of Randro, as Randro's AI really causing trouble. SJR has to lose out to Turkey Boy. Pat Kenny's going to try send it on Randro's AI. That's not going to work. He's gone for it now. He's got it done. Turkey Boy is next. He's also got it done, and Rayan right behind him is also going to get it done. It's going to go 3 at rest down the straight. They should get by Randro. SJR goes round all of them, and he's up in the P8. He's also going to go for Turkey Boy. Round the outside, he's gone wide, he's onto the rumble strips, and Rayan gets him again. And so is Randro's AI. Oh, SJR, how unlucky can you be? P10 for him. As Tyro is starting to gain even more on Magnus. He's had an incredible race, Magnus, in that gamble to go onto softs, but he's going to have to pit again, because there's no way he's going to go more than 11 laps now on softs. Go 19 laps on softs, going to be almost impossible. But FaZe McBot has done an excellent job in getting himself to P5, but now has a huge job in chasing down Syke, who isn't going to be an easy one to chase down. P5 at the moment, and possibly P5 permanently. Ooh, that was close there from FaZe. The still kind of damp conditions there as he headed off the racing line didn't help him at all. SJR got back by Randro's AI and is now going to gain on Rayan as they head down into Ravatsa. Sector 1, there is an issue. And that's, I think, Johannes, who just came out of the pit lane and has been lapped. So that's the end of the race for the AlphaTauri driver. Just like last night, it's been a clean race. One safety car in the sprint, one safety car right now. And I think Johannes may just bring this one into the pit lane as Jackie Gabbana gets by Griffin. And Rayan got by, or S Junior got by Rayan, but had to yield. But Rayan is derating heavily, and SJR just has that little bit more ERS at the moment. Rayan definitely struggling as well. Maybe Imola isn't quite his track. As there's more yellow flags, it's Johannes who has to make way for blue flags. I think he may just park his car here on the side. Oh, is that Pat Kenny spun round by Turkey Boy? It is. We just about caught that. What an action-packed race this was. Oh, as Jackie Gabbana bumps into the back of Randros AI. And that's Johannes has gone right round the outside. Pat Kenny lost out big time there. SJR up into 8th, still right in the back of Rayan. Tyro got by Magnus. Syke is next to get by him. He won't yet, as Tyro has a 12-second gap to gain in 9 laps. Big job required from him. But Griffin is next to overtake Randros AI, who I just don't think can get back in the game. That's unfortunate for Randro, because I think he's going to drop out of points. He'll get passed, and then so will Pat Kenny. He can't get back into the game, which means that Randro is going to have no points, and possibly 15 was on the cards. Pat Kenny may as well send one on Randros AI. So Nix has another consecutive poor race. He's not adapting to Tier 1 well. Pigster still doing his job he needs to do on those hards as Syke gets close to his McLaren teammate. 2 Magnus really has done his reserve proud, because he still has a 7 second gap to phase McBot here. I'm sure Randro's looking at this and going, this is absolutely lovely. As the race is over, I think everyone has disconnected from the session, unfortunately. Really? Has that just happened? Whoa, what has just happened? Well, this is very unfortunate here. Everyone has disconnected from the session, and the race is over. After what was such a good race, everything has just gone. So that's not going to be the end of things. We are going to do a 25%. Yep. So I don't know what on earth has happened there. But what we are going to do is we're going to do a 25% race now, and just say that the race was red flagged, because I do not want to end it like that. Okay, So I'm just going to do a quick announcement. That is more than likely what it's going to have to be. So a lot of people want the 25% race. So people on the stream, FaZe McBot, can you please start up a race there? Start up a race and invite me, please. Make it 25% custom grid, and I'm going to tell you what the grid is going to be. Okay. Unfortunately, this is bad for Psych, but it means everyone can change tyres and change their strategy. I think actually it'd be best to do a sprint race because there was 11 laps left. So I'm going to do a sprint race, I'm going to take a screenshot of the standings, and that's going to be it. Okay? So I'm going to announce that now. So there we go. So it's dry for the rest of the race. I hope FaZe can see this and can invite me. This is going to be a very long stream, and to be honest, very, very interesting. Wow, it could only happen to us. But sure, it happens. Glitches happen in this game, and we're unfortunately one who fell short to one. So I got the custom grid, got the settings, I've got the track. We should be good to go. I'm just going to get all the drivers that were remaining into the race. So we had 8 laps remaining roughly. So here is where we went to end. So we will invite who was in it. So FaZe and Griffin were in it. Jinx wasn't. Randro, Rayan, SJR, Magnus, Turkey Boy. We'll invite those 7 for now. Psych and Tyro. They need to add me as a friend, but for now I'll invite them. Oh no, they're just appearing offline. Psych, Tyro. Magnus Fazer, Pat Kenny. So we've Pat Kenny and Jackie Gabbana. Or Lucas Paul. Oh no, he retired. So we had Nix. I need to get Pigster into the session. So the custom grid for the sprint, Pigster will be on pole, he hasn't joined yet. So Tyro is going to take P2. Psych in P3. 2 Magnus will be in P4. McBot will be in P5. Turkey Boy in P6. Rayan in P7. SJR and Griffin in P8. Pat Kenny P9. Ranjo. So we need Pigster, Jackie, and Nix. So we'll confirm for now. So Pigster will start on pole position. Jackie Cabana is behind Rando, and we just wait on Nix before we go. So we're gonna also get the formation lap. We're gonna get that up and going. Now, obviously it doesn't work with me. So luckily for the people that had penalties, they don't have them anymore. So we have to wait. Don't think Nix is going to be able to join again. So I'm going to quickly leave the session. Error. Session no longer exists. Okay, I'm going to have to wait there. Now I'm going to rejoin. It won't work. I'm going to He's invited me there now. Surely this should work. Since he has the crown, he is the... And there we go, I'm in. Here we go again. Finally, we get back going for the end of this sprint. So we just wait for people to click X. And we start in 25 seconds for the final 11 laps. Should take us 10 o'clock before the finish. This could be hugely unlucky for Pigster, who may lose out now at the start. But we'll wait and see on what tyres people will pick. Obviously, the reason I sprint is that there's no mandatory pit stop either. So we will have to wait and see as we get going. We have 11 viewers for this crazy all-dry sprint. Obviously it's a much different track condition. as SJR seems to be complaining. It looks all dry to me. So we're going to get a formation lap on the way. Here we go. Oh, the grid is mixed up. The grid is mixed up. Okay. This is going to take us right up almost into half 12. So we're going to have to do this quick. Oh, this is a very, very long race. I did not want this to happen. We'd probably be doing the interviews now. But we will go again. As we, for some reason, always do. So what is a 25% sprint? 25 laps? No, I'm not doing that. So we'll just go back for another long sprint with a custom grid sprint and race. Okay, we'll try this again. Imola. As I want to invite everyone who was previously in that last session. Okay. FaZe McBot, Griffin. Randro, Ryan, SJR, Magnus, Turkey Boy, again, add those 7 first. So we have 12 and we previously had 12. Okay. 13 now. Who's rejoined? Who has rejoined that is not supposed to be here? Oh, that's just me that hasn't ready up. Okay. So I'm gonna leave. So let me go to Magnus. So okay, we finally can go with 5 minutes to 10. We can go for the end of the race, and I can finally eat food that I still haven't had. If this happens in Baku, I'm going to kill myself, but as of now, the grid should be fixed, and we go. So here we go again. After the red flag, we can go. If it doesn't work, then brilliant. What an incredibly long stream this is, but hopefully at least half entertaining for you guys. I guess it's lights out and away we go. The formation lap wasn't put on. We go. We go. Finally for the race. And Tyro has been caught off guard. And Syke and 2 Magnus have overtaken him. Someone's gone off. That's Rayan. SJR has lost his front wing. Griffin's dropped out. Everything is happening everywhere at the moment, as it is a VSC. Maybe caught a few people off guard, the fact that there was no safety car, but we're just going, or there's no formation lap, but we're just going to have to deal with it here for the last 11 laps of this race. Pigster remains in the lead. I'll get the telemetry enabled. I am getting very tired. But green flags must be getting closer now. A few people have gained, a few people have lost. Everyone's starting on the medium, so that shouldn't be a big issue. As Pigster starts the last 10 laps of the race. S Junior, Rayan and Griffin on to the pit lane. So those 3 will be battling for the race, the end of the race. Luckily Randro has gained a few places now. Back at his championship campaign, Rayan and Griffin are Griffin's gonna lose out most now to Rayan. And SJR is gonna fly ahead of both of them. Pigster's in the league, but it's gonna be closed by Syke. This race has been very, very difficult, but in the end it wasn't a bad race after all. And that's Randro, who spun out, and that'll be the end of his race. He'll probably finish P9. Pigster Syke getting close to Pigster, as 2 Magnus has had problems. He's down to 8. Tyro, Syke, Pigster lead the way. They head into Ravatsa. Tyro sets the fastest lap. SJR retires from the session. It's a safety car. It's going to be a safety car now. In the final few laps of this race. My God. What a abysmal race. It was going so well until the red flag, and now we've had our 3rd safety car of the night. And Vandro is into the pit lane. Maybe his race is saved. Same with Rayan, the same with Griffin. Rayan's back into the pit lane. Oh, I really apologise. I really do. Oh, 7 laps to go of this race. So as we wait for Griffin and Rayan to catch up, with 6 laps remaining, does anyone have any predictions on how this race will end? My prediction is probably for myself to jump out a window. The race hasn't even been that bad. It's just been so necessarily long, and I can't blame the drivers, I can't blame everything. This is all just the game's fault. And the sole reason on why the game needs to be solved, why EA need to actually invest time into fixing the game, because this is just abysmal to watch. Like, this is an hour and 40 minutes into the stream now, and we should be finished, like, the interviews 20 minutes ago, but obviously that won't happen. But safety car will be in this lap because Griffin will catch up, and we'll have 5 more laps of racing ahead of us. But we wait for Pigster, who made the 200 IQ play in the real race, and now in the sprint race, or not the sprint race, after the red flag, he's put on the medium tyres along with most drivers on the grid, and now he gets to choose when to go. No carbon fibre has gone anywhere, as everyone is so swarmed together. Pigster goes, Syke gets a good exit alongside him. Will Syke go for the race lead and possibly take his 2nd race win of the season? They're so close. They're going to be still side by side. I think Syke has done it. He has. Ryan picks up a penalty. Here goes Tyro, possibly around the outside. Pigster's back into the lead. What an end to the race this has been. Syke can't get by. Yellow flag in the sector 1. That's Randro. Randro has DNF'd. He will be getting no points in the end of the race. Pigster remains in the lead. There won't be any safety car. It's too late for that. Randro has left the session. Very unfortunate for him. He's going to have to bite back in Baku. But can Syke bite to win the race here today? It's going to be very, very crucial if he does. FaZe McBot, what a race he's had. From 17th on the grid, he's somehow eventually got himself up in the P4, and a very well done that is. Pigster remains in P1 at the moment as Turkey Boy goes a bit wide and has to take to the runoff. Rayan has a penalty and is far, far behind. That's going to be the end of his race. P10 for the Alpine reserve. Griffin has to make up more places as FaZe McBot's going to try one on Tyro. That didn't work the first time, but he may have another go. Pigster's got a bit of a gap there, and Tyro is exposed to FaZe McBot. Look at him, he's right on the back. Will he go for it? This is amazing racing. In the final 4 laps of this race, who will go for it? Neither in the end. As that's Griffin. Griffin's gone off. That's the end of his race as well. So Alpine picking up minimal points here. Syke does get closer, but Pigster gets the better exit. 4 more laps of racing action until we get to the checkered flag. Pigster remains in the lead since he came in for the pits, crucially, on lap 12. I think it was lap 12. I'm only guessing. Pat Kenny picks up a time penalty that will drop him possibly out of, well, down to P8. But Syke has gained a bit more ERS and Pigster's derating. Maybe it won't be the win after all. Syke also has very minimum ERS. FaZe has done well on getting ERS. We'll see, can Syke go for the move here? Pigster's using all of it. He's none left. He's none left, and Syke does. Surely this is it. No, he's going to save it. He's going to save it for lap 9, but you can see him derating as FaZe is dropping back on Tyro. Both of them right on the back. Can Pigster defend on the last 3 laps of this race? Or maybe Syke will go for it now. Very close. He just drops in back behind. Oh, this race is giving me a bit of anxiety here. Luckily, I think Pat Kenny will finish 7th because Two Magnus has just picked up a time penalty. But look at the 40s, all right beside each other. FaZe. Ooh. Oh, FaZe got it done. FaZe must have had a go there into Tosa. FaZe is up into the podium. Wow. This has been an incredible sprint race, because everyone knows this is for all your points now. Rayan retires. P10 for him. Syke goes for it. Is this it? He's almost pushed onto the grass. He's in the lead of the race. Syke overtakes Pigster out to Variante Alta's chicane and is into the lead, heading into Rivazza. Can FaZe get on the back of Pigster? Will Pigster lose his podium, unfortunately? Luckily, he will have DRS now on the back of Syke. No, he won't, as the safety car's out from Ryan's DNF. I didn't even realise. But sure, it's straight in this lap. So, the only positive about this safety car is that Griffin's going to catch up, but it's straight in now at the end of this lap for lap 10 and lap 11. So, this is going to be a bit interesting now, end of events. What a crazy race this has been, and FaZe McBot is up into the podium now, and if he ends up winning this race from P17, well, you just got to give him a round of applause for that, because that is just amazing. So we watch the cars head around Tulsa. The end of this race was definitely not how I liked it, but as Griffin catches up to the safety car will restart. We will finally, and I mean finally, get back going again for the final two races of this very long Saturday night. We started 2 hours ago now. It says 106 minutes ago. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes because we started at 8 o'clock. Safety car in this lap. It only came out for one lap just to clear Rayan's debris. Syke is in the lead, but Pigster has been given a chance to gain up some ERS to be able to defend from McBot now, and maybe even get a good restart and re-attack Syke. Maybe just what Pigster was looking for. So I just want to put on the tyres to see if anyone came onto the softs. Jackie Gabbana, Magnus and Griffin all on the softs. See if they will be able to make moves on the rest of the pack. As Syke, he's got a great restart, he's gone. But FaZe hasn't. Tyro's alongside. Tyro, is he back into the podium? There goes Turkey Boy on the outside. Turkey Boy's into the podium. Wow, FaZe right on the back of him as well. Tyro comes back at him. Tyro, FaZe, everyone into the first corner. Oh, it's Tyro's gone wide. Turkey Boy spun. Tyro's out. Tyro's down to P9. FaZe has remained on the podium. That's going to be heavily investigated. Who's that? That's Griffin. Griffin's gone flying off into the right. That's him out of the race. And Pigster luckily survives from that swarm of cars. He will finish P2. Turkey Boy goes for it on McBot. Turkey Boy back up into the podium. That's Tyro. Griffin is out. Tyro's out. Jackie Gabbana has spun. And Tyro's spun out there as well. Oh my god. What a last 2 laps this has been. But the battle for the podium continues. Syke and Pigster, I think they are going to just sit out comfortable with their win. And second place, FaZe has gone wide. May open up the gap for Pat Kenny. No, he's too far behind. FaZe McBot. Will he go for it on Turkey Boy? He's going to send it into Rivazza. They both go side by side. Turkey Boy's off into the gravel. FaZe gets the move. But Turkey Boy may come right back at him here. Both. FaZe just has a little bit more ERS, but the slipstream's powerful down this straight. The electrical recovery system, though, for FaZe is enough. He's almost wiggling about there, almost rubbing it in. FaZe back up into the podium. Turkey Boy from Tier 2. What a race he is having. Almost the podium on his Tier 1 debut. Well, his Tier 1 full-time seat debut. But we'll still watch these two on the final lap of the race. How close will they get? We don't know. FaZe still just rubbing about. He's got a podium here. Oh, I think he's brake checked him a bit there. That could be heavily investigated. We'll have to see. FaZe does not want to get a penalty here. We'll have to see as they head round the final corners. But the person to look at the moment is Syke. He has had an incredible race. Lots of ups and downs. He had the lead, and then Pigster with the great play manages to get himself into P1, but the red flag caused a lot, and it's caused Psych to cross the line and win the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Pigster in P2. The question is, will it be Turkey Boy or FaZe? It's going to be FaZe to take home P3, and Pat Kenny's going to get by Turkey Boy for P4. Turkey Boy picks up P5 with Magnus in P6. Behind them then is Tyro, who gets by Jackie Gabbana, and Jackie Gabbana finishes for P8, and that is the end of the race. So we'll get Psych, Pigster and FaZe in for a interview. So finally we'll just give Psych, Pigster and FaZe a quick interview and we can end the stream.
What's going on here, boys?
Hello.
What's
All
going
right.
on?
We'll just wait for Psych.
Psych said he didn't want to do it.
He isn't.
No.
Nah, he said he didn't want to do it. He's crying.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll start with you then, FaZe. So, obviously, you were supposed to have a quali ban, but I think I was probably going to get rid of that anyway. It doesn't really matter because I think I keep forgetting. But how was quali anyway? I don't know where you qualified. I don't have any of the info up because there was about 50 races. But tell me about it. That long time ago.
I was on for pole. I was like 5/10 up on my original lap, and then I done what Latifi that was best and did about 7 360s. I think it was. I was counting them, but not very good qualifying. But anyway, I crashed out in the sprint, so.
Yeah,
really
I feel like you went for a few optimistic moves, but eventually then had a storming race and managed to somehow get back on the podium. Can you tell us about the race and then the 11 lap sprint at the end as well?
The race, a bit shambles. There was fellas just going off everywhere, but I knew I paced compared to the leader, so I was able to catch up. Yeah, P17, the rain kind of fucked me over, but I was able to get back up anyway.
Yeah.
So up to P5 I think it was before the sprint. And then the sprints went good as well, P3, so...
Yeah, you done very well in the sprint, but I was watching it at the end. You seemed to be having a few incidents with Turkey Boy, and I just want to see what it was all clean.
Yeah, it was all clean.
You sure? Because I was watching that and it looked.
Gaffo. It was the cleanest thing I've ever seen in my life.
All right, well I'll just let
me not being clean.
I'll just let you know that he has told me he's reporting you. So if you have anything to report on him, I'd recommend doing it, or you might lose the podium.
Suck my fat dick.
All right. So then next up, Azerbaijan next week, just before the season break. Tell us how you think about that track, and are you hoping for a win?
90-degree angles, corners, cool, nice race. Baku, very long straight, very cool. P3, now P1 in Baku.
Okay, thanks very much, FaZe. Great race, and hope to see you soon in Baku then. All right, so we'll move on. We'll move on to Pigster. So again, I don't know where you qualified. I don't have any of that up. But tell me about it. Tell me how you qualified.
It was a bit of shambles in quali. Had about 4 absolute stinkers of laps, and then just chucked the car in the middle of the grid P9.
Yep, well, and then I think the sprint you made up a few positions because obviously a few did crash. So how did you? Where did you finish there?
Got my way up to P4, and then I had a little bit of incident on the last lap, which left me at P6. So
okay. So then, obviously, your race was quite dramatic, and you made what I said was a 200 IQ play to get up into first place. Can you tell me just about your race in general and what went through your mind?
Started P6, had an absolute shocker at the start, and then got clipped by Griffin into, I think, the third turn, which left that massive pile up, and then I was down in P17 and was having to fight my way through in the wets, and then just decided to make the call for the hards because I was out of points. Decided to absolutely send it, and then made a couple of places up, and yeah. Yes.
Now, obviously, I think you went onto the hards and you were actually very slow off the start, as well as everyone else. I think the thing that saved you was that you went onto a turn of safety car, so you were still like within time of the leader, because everyone else that pitted immediately afterwards, they still lost a lot of time because it was at racing speed. You luckily pitted under a safety car, so you done very well. You got up into the lead, and you probably would have won the race if the game didn't crash. But to tell us about after what I think was the red flag and how that planned out for you.
So absolutely fuming, screaming at my monitor, but these things happen. And then we did a little stupid 11 lap sprint, held my way for a bit, and then was off the safety car restart, the first one. Psych got me on the straight, and I had good moves to get back into the lead.
Yeah, you'd want to watch the stream because I was watching all this, and I don't have anyone in my house at the moment. So let's just say my reaction was priceless.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and then then just before Syke made the move, and then the safety car got called out, so had another lap under safety car, and then at that point,
Well, I think you got.
pace.
I think you got lucky under the final safety car, because I seen that you were using a lot of your ERS, and that final safety car kind of helped you just regain a bit and be able to defend from phase. So
it's hard to defend from Syke, but I feel like I would have defended from phase at the end anyway.
yeah, well, obviously a fantastic race on your debut here for CTCR, and then you've Baku up next. You will be here for Baku, yes?
I believe I am having to sit that one out due to personal issues, let's say.
Alright, that's no problem.
I'll be back after the season break.
Yeah, so the season breaks in Spa. So what do you think of Spa? Is it another track you like, or?
Spa and Singapore are my tracks, so should be a very, very good race.
Well, unfortunately, Singapore is not on the calendar, but Spa is. So best of luck there. I hope to see you on the podium. Obviously, we haven't seen Syke yet, and I don't think we will. I think he doesn't have great English, so it's okay. But fair play to him. He done a great race and ended up winning the race. So that will be the end of this 2 hour and 30 minute stream. That's usually an hour and 15. Yeah, I've had visitors downstairs that I said I'll be back in an hour, and it's been 2 hours and a half now. So I'm going to
F1's a priority.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go as well. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week in Baku.